Welcome back to Mr. DuPage's classroom. This lesson is for my Algebra 1 class. It is 3.2, Day 3, Notes, Multi-Step Equations. This first section is really just a mix of all the stuff that you've been doing over the last few days, but we will go through these problems fairly quickly. So the problem 1 first, we go ahead and add 8 to both sides. We get me 3r equals 40. Divide by 3. R would equal 40 over 3. Remember not to change it out of decimal form. Okay. On problem 2, we can go ahead and add 3 to both sides. Gets me 8p equals 16. Divide by 8. And p would equal 2. Problem 3, the first thing I need to do is to go ahead and combine like terms. So 7h plus 2h is 9h minus 3 equals 15. I can add 3 to both sides. So 9h equals 18. Divide by 9. H equals 2. On to problem 4. Again, I need to combine like terms. 8g minus 10g gets me negative 2g equals 4. Divide by negative 2. G equals negative 2. On to 5. 5 is a distribution problem. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute negative 3 into the 5 and the negative t. Remember, you can only distribute until the end of the parenthesis you are distributing into. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Negative 3 times negative t is positive 3t. That equals 18. You can add the 15 to both sides. 3t equals 33. Divide by 3. T equals 11. Okay. 6 is another distribution problem. So 6 times t and 6 times 5 would be 6t plus 30 equals negative 36. You can subtract the 30 from both sides. So 6t equals negative 66. Divide by 6, and t would equal negative 11. On to 7, which is a mix here. We're going to do a distribution and combining like terms. So remember that there is a 1 in between the negative and the parenthesis. I'm going to distribute the negative 1 into the parentheses, leave me with 8 minus 9 minus a equals negative 6. I need to combine the two negative a's to get negative 2a, and I will combine 8 minus 9 to get negative 1. So I have negative 1 minus 2a equals negative 6. I can add the 1 to both sides to give me negative 2a equals negative 5. Divide by negative 2. A equals 5 over 2. Again, don't change that to decimals unless the problem started as a decimal. Last one of these, distribute the negative 4. So 6x minus 4x minus 20 equals 0. I want to simplify that left-hand side first. So 6x minus 4x is negative 2x minus 20 equals 0. Add the 20 to both sides. Negative 2x equals 20. Now we can divide by negative 2. And x equals negative 10. So again, that whole section is really just review from the last 3 days of work that we've been doing. If you have any questions on those, please make sure you let me know. On to story problems. Now, I'm going to talk you through how I think through story problems. And hopefully that helps you with working through story problems. What we need to do is write equations first and then solve those equations. So your first step, you should always read the whole problem first. I'm only going to do that on this first problem just to try to save some time, but it is always good to read the whole problem first. So you are helping to prepare a large meal by peeling carrots. You can peel 2 carrots per minute. If you need 60 carrots, how long will it take you to finish peeling if you already have 18 peeled? So we've read through the whole first problem. There is a part of this that doesn't really matter, and it is this first sentence. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it because it doesn't really help me write my equation. It just kind of puts me in the setting. Okay, so now I'm going to start rereading again, and I'm going to stop at every piece of information that it gives me. So the first part is you can peel 2 carrots per minute. That is a good piece of information. What you need to know is that the word per tells me I'm going to multiply in this case. Well, what am I going to multiply? Obviously, the number 2 is going to be multiplied in minutes. So it'll be 2m. I'm going to change the minutes into a variable of m. Okay? If you need 60 carrots, again, I'm going to stop because that is a good piece of information. It says if you need 60 carrots, that's kind of final to me. That seems like it's our ultimate goal. So that's going to be equals 60. And I know that is going to be on a side by itself. The 60 will be on a side by itself. Okay? So now we'll continue. How long will it take you to finish peeling if you already have 18 peeled? Well, here's a little bit of a hint for you guys for these type of problems. If you get something like already have or saved or were given or things along those lines, what you're going to do is you're going to add the number that it says you have been given. Okay? So now I have all my information. I've even written down for myself little notes of how I could put that information into an algebraic equation. So always with algebraic equations, we want to start with our variable. So I'm going to start with the 2m. Now I have to figure out where I'm going to put the equal 60 and the plus 18. Well, if you remember when we were talking about the equal 60, we said that's kind of our final situation. So that 60 is going to be on a side by itself. So equal 60 is going to go on the right for me. Now I need to put the plus 18 in there somewhere. 60 is by itself. So I'm going to add the 18 to my 2 carrots per minute. Now I have an equation. All that's left to do is to solve our 2-step equation. We're going to subtract 18 from both sides. So 2m will equal 42. I'm going to move my work up here. So 2m equals 42. I can divide both sides by 2. Leave me with m equals 21 minutes. The amount of time that it would take me to finish peeling the rest of my carrots. Okay? On to 10. Mia has saved $40. She wants to buy an iPod for $129 in about 4 months. Write an equation to find out how much she needs to save each week. Well, again, just like the problem above, I'm going to break this down. So Mia has saved $40. To me, again, this means I've saved, already have like the problem before. So that's going to be my plus 40. She wants to buy an iPod for $129. To me, that's the ultimate goal. That's where I'm going to finish. So this is going to be my equals 129, just like our 60 in the problem above, in about 4 months. Well, 4 months would be my multiplication, 4m. Here's the reason why you need to read the entire problem, though. I could go right now with 4m plus 40 equals 129, but that's not going to give me what the problem asks. What the problem asks, it tells me to write an equation to find out how much she needs to save each week. So I have a problem here. I started out in months. I need to transfer into weeks. So what I need to do is to figure out how many weeks there are in 4 months. Well, 1 month, or M, is equal to 4 weeks, or W. 1 month is equal to 4 weeks. I have this piece of information, 4M here. So I need to change my 4 months into weeks. I'm going to take 4 times 4W, because M can be changed into 4W, right? That's going to equal 16W. So she actually has 16 weeks to save everything. I'm no longer going to use the 4M because I now have the 16W. Okay? So again, I'm going to start with our variable, which in this case is going to be the 16W. Then I have my plus 40. And it all equals 129. I can subtract 40 from both sides, which gives me 16W equals 89. Again, I'm going to move my work up. 16W equals 89. I'll divide by 16. So W is actually going to equal 5.5625. Now, Mr. DuPage, you told us we can't change our answer into decimals. In this case, we can because we're talking about money and it's a story problem. Otherwise, just keep everything in a fraction until you get to a problem that starts as a decimal or you're into story problems, okay? But here's the question. Where do I finish my decimal? Well, we're talking about money. So with money, we want to end at 2 decimal places. So this 2 is going to tell me whether I round the 6 up or leave it as a 6. In this case, 2 is below 5, so I'm going to leave 6 as 6, meaning that for every week, I need to save $5.56. And actually, that's an estimation because we rounded, so I'm going to use the squiggly equal sign to say about. Each week, she needs to save about $5.56. Okay? On to the last problem. Last season, Everett scored 48 points. At this point, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that 48, so I'm just going to keep moving until right now where it says this is. What they're saying with this is they're talking about the 48 points. So it says 48 points is. Is always tells me I'm going to use equals, so this is going to be where I have equals 48. So after the this is, we'll continue. 6 less than twice the number of points Max scored. Well, this is a section where, if you remember back to the beginning of the year, we did a lot of vocab for math, vocab for algebra. And we know that the word than tells me I have to start with what comes behind and then work my way back to the front, okay? Well, twice the number of points would be 2p, 2 times the number of points. Now, because I started behind, because of the word than, now I have to look at the 6 less. So less tells me to subtract, so minus, and then 6 is my number. So 2p minus 6 is what 6 less than twice the number of points Max scored wants us to write down for our algebraic equation. Okay? Then it asks us how many points did Max score. That's going to be our p in this equation. So I'm going to write down my equation of 2p minus 6, because I always want to start with my variable, equals the 48. I can add 6 to both sides. 2p equals 54. Divide by 2. P equals 27 points. And that is the end of our lesson. If you have any questions over anything that I talked about here today, make sure you get a hold of me and let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching the video and have a great day.